Vespila has apparently forgiven Jaskier as The Witcher Season 3, Episode 3 opens with them in bed together. Though she also deduces that Jaskier has a newfound crush on Prince Radovid. Vespila and Jaskier's mid-morning dalliance is interrupted by Geralt, who needs Jaskier's assistance. They take Terran to an old friend of Geralt's, a healer named Anika, who knew Geralt's late mother Vicenna. Anika lives with a man named Otto Dusarda who Geralt previously helped cure of lycanthropy by giving him a special amulet. With their assistance, they give Terran an extraction elixir to try and break through her muddled memories and coax her into telling them who was experimenting on her. Yennefer and Ciri arrive in Gorsvelen to see Giancardi, the dwarven banker who owns the Giancardi Bank. Yennefer is there to retrieve coin from her vault before she goes to Raduza to see Tisea and Kari favor. She leaves Ciri with a chaperone, Fabio. Yennefer visits with Tisea, tells her she'll still need to seek forgiveness from the rest of the council, but she does convince her to let Ciri come and be a novice at Raduza. In Gorsvelen, Ciri and Fabio get into trouble pretty quickly as Ciri sees a shady dealer with a supposed basilisk, charging people to see it and potentially kill it. In reality, the basilisk is a baby wyvern, and Ciri kills it, though she lets a nearby squire claim victory to avoid drawing more attention to herself. We are also briefly introduced to Mistel, a member of the Rats. Mistel is an important character in Ciri's story as she serves as a love interest to her in the books. The character will be in the Witcher spin-off prequel series The Rats, which is currently in production. Dijkstra and Philippa are struggling to keep control over Vizmir, who has taken a secret meeting with a Nilfgaardium, and somehow Dijkstra, the spy master, didn't know about it. Philippa also sensed disturbing energy from a portal similar to what Yennefer felt. They know that there is another mage at play, and they need to figure out who it is. Istrid also comes back into play in this episode. He is working with a Nilfgaardium spy searching for a mysterious book of monoliths. The book in question is missing, and the spy informs him it relates to the White Flame himself. Back at Anticus, the extraction potion begins to do its work, but all Terran can tell Geralt is that she heard a woman with a funny voice. She seems to become possessed by the mage or some uncontrollable force and attacks, yanking off Otto's amulet, which causes him to begin transforming. Geralt leaps into action and manages to get the amulet back on Otto, and Jaskier pours the rest of the extraction elixir down Terran's throat. Geralt learns the mage is operating out of Raduza. He asks Anika to keep an eye on Terran for him while he goes after them. Not long after the Wyvern mishap, Ciri runs directly into Tisea and Margarita Loxfindal, the rectors at Raduza. They mistake Ciri for a wayward novice. Yennefer joins them, and they bring Ciri back to Raduza, where she quickly discovers what life is like for a novice. It's not fun. Sabrina and Margarita taunt Ciri and treat her like a serving girl, resulting in a big fight between Ciri and Yennefer, as Ciri doesn't want to be part of what she deems a vain and vapid group of power-mad women. Yennefer's next plan is to host a conclave so they can present a united front to the northern kingdoms and perhaps gain unity against Nilfgaard. In Redania, Philippa and Dijkstra put a plan into action to turn Vizmir against Nilfgaard again. Dijkstra has Queen Hedwig murdered and her head sent to Vizmir, courtesy of Nilfgaard. Radovid is shocked by Dijkstra's actions, but he can't do anything about it, lest he be accused of treason alongside them. It was actually the queen's handmaid, Eva, who did it on orders from Philippa as the two are sleeping together. Eva and Philippa also discuss the strange portals they've been seeing, and Philippa begins to draw conclusions regarding the mage controlling Rheims. Speaking of Rheims, he visits Lydia Elisha Fabian Rosso, who can now only communicate via telepathy because uses an illusion to cover the damage to her face after she tried using the Witcher mutagen. Rheims tells Lydia he wants to speak to her master because if he wants Rheims to keep doing his bidding, he has a demand of his own. In Sintra, more plotting is afoot between Cahir and Gallatin as they propose a new plan of allyship to Emmer. They want to form an alliance and leave Francesca out of the picture, but Emmer will need more than that to trust Cahir again. And what does Emmer want to? It turns out he would rather Ella with Francesca and the elves rather than let Gallatin take over because Gallatin is headstrong and the type of leader who could cause discord and trouble among the elves. They need them united, so Cahir murders his old friend on Emmer's orders. While running away from Raduza, Ciri finds herself stopped by the Wild Hunt. Luckily, Geralt arrives in time thanks to Ciri's enchanted talisman, which she uses to call out to him. But even though the Wild Hunt disappears after Geralt arrives, they're startled to see that a piece of armor has fallen to the ground, proving that this time the Wild Hunt was really there and not just in Ciri's dreams.